Hey guys, it's Jo and welcome to my channel. Please excuse my glasses and the reflection you might see throughout this video. My eyes are a bit swollen so I can't wear my contacts, and I hope this won't be a huge distraction. So for today's video, we're just going to chat and we're going to be talking about hair porosity, how to test for it, and what to do after you find out your hair's porosity. So if you guys want to keep on watching, then let's go. So, what is hair porosity? Hair porosity is basically the ability for your hair to absorb and retain moisture. And that's the simplest meaning. This basically means that how well your hair is able to absorb the moisture you put into it or through the environment, and how long that moisture stays in your hair. So, our hair is made up of three layers: the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. And I'll insert a picture somewhere here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And when people talk about porosity, they're mainly focusing on your cuticles, because your cuticles are what are going to determine the porosity and how to take care of your hair and have healthy hair. So, how do you test for porosity? There are the three ways you can test for porosity, but people mainly talk about the two, and I'm going to show you each test, and I'll test my hair as well, and we're going to see what my hair porosity is. So the first test is a float test. This means that you take clean hair, and your hair must be cleaned, freshly washed out of the shower. You get a few strands of your hair, you put them in a glass of water, and make sure the water is of room temperature, and leave your hair in the glass for 2 to 4 minutes. And then when you come back, you'll see where exactly your hair is, and that will be able to tell you the porosity of your hair. So in this test, how to determine your porosity: if your hair after 4 minutes is still at the top of the level of water, it's still at the top, then your hair is low porosity. If it's in the middle of the glass, like floating around, then your hair is of medium porosity. And if it sinks all the way to the bottom, your hair is of high porosity. Test number 2. This is the slip and slide test. Again, on clean hair, freshly cleaned hair. You just take a few strands of your hair, and then you slide up the shaft of your hair from the ends all the way to the root. Just a simple motion of slowly sliding up your hair. Now, if you feel any bumps as you go up your hair, this means your hair is of high porosity. And if you feel no bumps and it's a smooth ride all the way from the ends to the top of your hair, then your hair is of low or medium porosity. After each test, you will know what exactly the porosity of your hair is. After doing all these two tests, my hair was of low porosity. In the glass, some of my hair was still at the top and some was in the middle, just floating around. That means my hair is low to medium porosity. And with the slip and slide test, my fingers slid through my hair very smoothly. There were no bumps at all. That means it's either low to medium porosity. So yeah, there you have it. Those are the tests. Now we're going to discuss each porosity, what it means, and what products to use and what not to do with each porosity. So for low porosity, the cuticles are tightly packed on your hair shaft, like they're completely closed, like completely flat. Now with that, for low porosity hair, it's very hard for this type of hair to absorb in moisture. It takes a bit of time because the cuticles are closed. But this porosity is said to be the most healthy. Like if your hair has low porosity, it means it's very healthy. And this is because this is your natural hair, like growing out of your roots. No chemicals, no nothing. Like it's your virgin hair. That's why it's said to be the most healthy, because it's what is growing out of your scalp. And with low porosity hair, your hair tends to be very shiny, especially on dark colored hair. It's very, very shiny. This is because the cuticles are closed and it's reflecting off light, so it looks very, very shiny. But also with low porosity hair, it is hard for it to process, either for dyes or even palms or any chemical reaction. It is very hard for your hair to absorb that chemical or process it because your cuticles are closed. And that being said, for this hair, it tends to be dry if you do not take care of it because it's not absorbing moisture very easily. It's hard for it to absorb moisture. And also low porosity hair is very prone to buildup. Like buildup in this type of hair is very, very easy, especially if you use protein based treatments like deep conditioners or products. It's prone to a lot of buildup because yet again the cuticles are closed, so the products just sit on top of the hair, causing buildup. So for this type of porosity, you will need humectant products. And what a humectant is, a humectant allows for moisture to be absorbed by the hair, especially from the environment. You need humectants, and these are like glycerin and honey, the two best humectants. Once you have those two in your routine, you will start to notice your hair tends to absorb more moisture, even though it's of low porosity. And keep away from protein-based products because of buildup. You can use them once in a while, but not as frequently as other people with different type of porosity. And also use liquid-based products because of low porosity and buildup. Your hair can tend to be weighed down a lot because there's so much product. So if you used light liquid based products, your hair will be able to move freely. You won't have a lot of that greasy feeling because of a lot of product in your hair. So again, for low porosity hair, humectants are your best friend, and light liquid based products. And 3, keep away from the proteins. Like you can do them once in a while, but not as frequently. Porosity number 2. Now this is a medium or normal porosity. This is like lazy girl goals, lazy natural hair girls goals. And this is what I have. I have medium porosity hair. And medium porosity hair doesn't need as much maintenance as the other porosities. Like you can do your hair today and 2 weeks later, just do a bit of washing, a bit of deep conditioning, and your hair will be okay. I never always started with medium porosity hair. I did have high porosity hair, especially towards the beginning of my colored hair journey. But currently, I do have medium porosity hair. And the only thing with medium porosity hair is that you should really balance your protein treatments because your hair absorbs enough moisture and it retains enough moisture. It's not too much, it's not too little. So it's just right in the middle of the porosity extreme. So for medium porosity, the cuticles are loosely packed. That means enough moisture can enter, enough moisture can get out. So you don't have extremely dry hair or extremely moisturized hair. You're just there floating in the middle. And I just love having medium porosity because for those people who know, I'm a lazy natural. Like, if I don't need to touch my hair, I'm not going to touch my hair. I'm not going to bother it. As you can see, my hair is like, this is day 9 of a perm rod set. And the only thing I did today was just spritz my roots with a bit of water just to, make it feel alive or something. But yeah. And with medium porosity hair, your hair is easily processed. Like if you put your palms, your colors, whatever, it processes easily. Like you can predict your results. And people tend to ask if I bleached my hair dyeing it, but I did not bleach it. That's why, like, my hair absorbs in color very easily. All I need is like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and I'll basically get the same results on the box on my hair. But also, again, a warning. Just because your medium porosity hair can absorb or process very easily, do not do it very frequently because in this way you can end up damaging your hair and causing your porosity levels to change. That's why I only color my hair once a year or every 2 years because I just don't want to damage it. So that's just a word of caution. And also with that, you can use protein-based deep conditioners on occasion, at least once a month. Just remember, protein is like the main component of your hair. So if you overdo the protein, your hair will become stiff, it will become hard. So for whatever hair type you have, just be cautionary about your protein treatments. Once a month is advisable. Like, that's what I tend to do once a month. But yeah, and medium porosity is like the easiest, low maintenance. You don't need to do much with your hair, and you still have bomb hair. So the third porosity is high porosity. And disclaimer, just because you have high porosity doesn't mean your hair is damaged. I've read other posts and I've seen other videos where people say if you have high porosity hair, it's more likely that your hair is damaged, and that's not the truth. At times you can have high porosity hair, like that's your natural hair type can be of high porosity. But also, if you damage your hair, you can get high porosity as a side effect. But as I said, disclaimer, just because you have high porosity hair does not mean your hair is damaged whatsoever. Okay? So for high porosity, the cuticles have gaps and holes. That means your cuticles are either opened or missing at certain sections. So for this, your hair absorbs moisture very, very fast. Like, just spray water and your hair has sucked in that moisture. But also with that, your hair loses moisture very fast because there's no barrier to protect your hair from losing the moisture. But yet again, you gain moisture very fast. And with high porosity hair, it's very prone to frizziness and tangling in very high humid areas. Especially here in Nairobi, when the ends of my hair were highly porous, the humidity would attack my hair real bad, like the frizziness. I just had to fall in love with frizziness because my hair. Yeah. And also with high porosity, because it loses so much moisture, you can tend to have very, very dry hair because you're losing moisture. So for this type of porosity hair, high porosity, you need to keep away from the humectants. Run the other direction when you hear humectants, when you see humectants. You need anti-humectant products. Products. What? Products. Hey, you guys. So what this means is, as I said earlier, under low porosity hair are humectant agents that help your hair absorb and retain moisture. So for high porosity hair, keep away from the humectants. So whenever you're buying a product, look for anti-humectants. Yes? Yes. So to maintain moisture in your hair for high porosity, you need to layer in your products. And I'm pretty sure the person who started with the lock method must have had high porosity hair, because the lock method or the LCO method, whichever method you want, is best friends to high porosity hair. So what this means is you'll have your liquid, then you have your oil, then you have your cream. And when you come to your cream, use heavy butters, like really, really thick, heavy butters, because this will seal your cuticles and your hair will be able to retain those moistures. You see? Very simple. So yeah, that's all about porosity. This is one of the ways you can type your hair. I hope I didn't blabber too much. So yeah, just do the test and determine what your porosity is, but make sure your hair is freshly cleaned. And also, when you're typing your hair, don't necessarily take everything as it is. Take the advice with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, our hair is totally different. I may have medium porosity hair, but at times my hair will act like it's high porosity or low porosity. So it just depends on your hair. And our hair is just not one type or one texture. Like, shock on you, this side might be high porosity, that other side might be medium porosity. So you just need to listen to your hair and find out what it wants, because it tends to change with your environment, especially for those who keep traveling. You will notice that at times your hair is of low porosity, at times it's high porosity. So environmental factors can change the porosity of your hair. And in so doing that, under low porosity, I will link a video of my Kenyan Puff. She's another Kenyan YouTuber who has a natural hair channel, and her hair is of low porosity. So you can check out her video on porosity and also her other videos on how she takes care of low porosity hair. And yeah, I guess that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with all your friends, all your friends. But yeah, till next week, I shall talk to you later.